Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joel. I am a second semester nursing student at Imperial Valley College. And for today's video, I have 7 tips to reduce stress while being in nursing school. Now, I know nursing school can be really stressful. There's some days, majority of the days, that it feels overwhelming. But I have been doing these 7 things that have helped me a lot in order to reduce the stress that I have. So tip number 1, go out with your friends and family. Now, I recently posted a video about the myths of nursing school where we're not allowed to go out with our friends, with our family, we're just gonna be in our bedroom, that's all just a myth. You really need to go out with your friends, your family, have that type of social interaction like I said on the past video, because if we don't, then we're gonna go into insanity. We're gonna be so crazy. So yeah, definitely go out with your friends and family. Obviously not always, not every single day, maybe not every single weekend, but at least once every 2 weeks, at least, because it's really good for your mental health. So definitely go out with them. The second tip is ask yourself what you can do right now to remove the stress that is bugging you. And when you ask yourself what you can do about the stress that you're having, really ask yourself. If you really ask yourself that question, you're gonna be so fascinated by how your brain is quickly going to respond to that. Because one thing is that you ask yourself oh, what can I do, but you really do not ask that question. You really don't mean it. That's the word I'm trying to say. But when you actually mean it, what can I actually do to solve this stress and everything, it's gonna come up to you. So really ask yourself that question and you'll be surprised at what is gonna be the answer. So tip number 3, do a 10-minute timeout where you play 3 of your favorite songs, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. So for this, I have done this a lot where I feel like I'm stressing too much about something. So when that happens, when I feel like my brain is going to explode, I just stop whatever I'm doing. I play 3 songs on, obviously they're I already have them, I already know the names of the songs. I have them on my Spotify, so I would just put on my earphones, put the noise cancellation on, and just close my eyes, just kneel back and just listen to those 3 songs and just breathing slowly. Breathe through your nose and then out your mouth, and that really helps a lot. So really try that for 10 minutes. It's like a 10-minute timeout and it's really gonna help you. Tip number 4, take 30 to 40 minutes to go out for a run or play video games. Now for this, I say video games or go out for a run. For a run, I say because that is the ideal goal, because that is definitely going to de-stress the body. But if you are more of a video game player because you want to distract yourself a bit, 30 to 40 minutes of video games can actually help you a lot. Some people might say well, no, because then you're gonna be playing for 2 hours or things like that. But you really need to discipline your mind into taking a break, a short break. And another thing is just going off and your 30 minutes of break now turn into 2 hours. So that comes more with discipline. But this is more into the mental health, for you to get focused again and have a little bit of fun. So 30 to 40 minutes to just playing your video game, and put yourself a timer. Put yourself a timer in the phone for 30 to 40 minutes and go at it. And after the time is up, go back to work. Okay, and whenever that happens again, then you know that you can play again your video game after you've done a decent amount of studying. Do not study for 20 minutes and then take a 40-minute video game break. That's not how it works. Now that's tip number 4. Tip number 5, take a cup of tea, coffee, or a beer, whatever you fancy, whatever drink you like. I normally go with coffee. It doesn't matter if it's at night. It really doesn't remove any type of it doesn't affect my sleep, coffee, at all. And tea, I normally take a peppermint tea or a green tea. And beer, that'll be on certain occasions. Whenever I'm very lazy and I really do not want to study at all, I sometimes will bargain with myself, be you know what, maybe, just maybe, we can have a beer while we're studying, and that's gonna make everything better because it's gonna be more pleasant. And I have not tried that a lot of times. I can count with my right hand how many times I have done that, but it really works. So maybe that can work out for you. And that's to reduce stress, because sometimes you feel very stressed about an exam and you're oh my god, it's overwhelming, and I don't want to study anymore, and I cannot get focused. But if you prepare your favorite drink, that can push you into studying again, and reduce your stress, because you're probably going to be stressing because you haven't studied enough, you're not studying effectively, or you haven't studied at all. So that can be like the little push that you need in order for you to study and remove that stress. Tip number 6, get up from your seat and stretch your body while listening to your favorite song. Again, this is huge whenever you feel like you're losing it, or you feel stressed or anxious because you have a check off, you have an exam. Just get up from your seat, stretch your head, like move your neck. You can stretch your arms, and like different ways that you can stretch your arms. You can stretch your legs, move side to side, and listen to your favorite song with your earphones. And that's really gonna help you to like loosen up a bit and remove a little bit of the stress you're having. And the last tip, reward yourself after finishing whatever was stressing you. Normally stress in nursing school will be either you have a check off, you have an exam, maybe I don't know, like every nursing school I guess is different, and whichever semester you're at it's different, but it's pretty much the same thing, right? Like exams, check-offs. But reward yourself after doing the thing that was stressing you. That way, whenever you feel stressed again, you can just tell yourself like, oh, we're gonna reward ourselves after we're done. So it's not gonna be in vain. We're not just gonna finish the job and be like, oh well, like that's what I had to do. Like no, actually reward yourself. That way, there is a cool book called 12 Rules for Life: An Antidote to Chaos by Jordan Peterson. And in that book, in one of the sections, he says that you need to bargain with yourself because your mind is not stupid. And if you don't treat your body or your mind after doing something difficult, if that happens again, like if you're stressing again or anything, it's gonna be really hard for you to bargain yourself and be up to like get focused, because your brain's like it doesn't really matter if I pass it or not, because you're not gonna treat me differently. Like you're gonna treat me the same. I'm not gonna get rewarded by doing this, so why should I even do it? So actually reward yourself after doing something complicated, after a stressful situation, in order for it, if it happens again, you can be like, oh, I can bargain with yourself. You know, actually try and have like a conversation with you and be like, what do you want? And be like, well, I really want that sweater that I saw in, I don't know, Abercrombie or whatever, and it's like $40, but if I do pass this exam, which is what I'm really stressful about, like I'll buy it. And go like that, or some shoes, or whatever it is. Don't go with something very small like a coffee or things like that, because you can buy coffee any single day. It doesn't really make it special. Go with something a little bit more, like maybe a sweater or a piece of clothing that you want, or jeans or whatever, because passing an exam, it's a really big deal in nursing school. So you shouldn't take it lightly and be like, oh, I'm just gonna buy myself I don't know, a coffee or a biscuit or whatever. It's like it should be more than that. So definitely do that, and your brain's dopamine receptors are going to be activated, and they're going to like that. So whenever you have to study for another exam, your brain is going to be encouraged to focusing and everything like that, because the brain wants to be rewarded again. So that's definitely going to help you in reducing the stress. So those are the 7 tips that I have to reduce stress in nursing school that have worked out for me. And the very last thing that I want to say, it's a serenity prayer by the Stoicism. I do not remember the person who said this prayer, but I do remember the quote, like 98% sure. Like I know maybe I'm missing a word on the quote, but the quote is, God granted me the serenity to accept that which I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Which means that sometimes you're stressed about stuff that you cannot control, and you should be wise into knowing which things you can change and which things you cannot change, because we're going to feel stressed about everything. But it really doesn't make sense for you to feel stressed on something you cannot change, because you can't change it. Like it really doesn't matter if you're stressed or not, it's not going to change the outcome. Whereas if it's something that you can actually change, like an exam, a check off, your performance on those things, then you can worry about or stress about those things, because you can actually change that and manipulate that for your advantage. Right, so other than that, that's going to be the wrap up of this video. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys into the next video. Bye bye.